This is the moment we've all been waiting for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Welcome to the Chokeslam Wrestling Report, episode 312, as we are live, and we're going to be doing the AEW All In London predictions today, and we're going to start off real quick and whatnot. First of all, AEW is heading back tomorrow, less than 24 hours, to Wembley Stadium, and now we're just hours away from All In 2026. Who leaves London with championship gold? Who gets the biggest victory of their career, and which match could completely surprise us? I mean, and most definitely, we definitely got to talk about the situation going on right now. The report that came in about Willow. We're gonna go through that as we go through the matchups and whatnot. First of all, AEW event page confirms All In is scheduled to be August 30th. Of course, it's tomorrow. And I'm going to go through the card match by match and give you my prediction. I'm not necessarily picking the obvious winner. But, of course, we're definitely going to go. And I'm sure tonight they're probably going to add more matches as far as, because tonight we have AEW Collision. Most likely they'll add more matches. And that's probably going to be, those matches will probably be in the 0 hour and whatnot. I think it starts at 11, if I'm correct. But anyway, the Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay. This should probably be one of the matches that's probably going to steal everything. Now, the question is, who needs the victory more? It's the biggest match of Ospreay's AEW career, and should Kenny retain? Now, my thing with that is, one, I think Kenny Omega, the fact that he beat MJF for the belt, that pretty much AEW and Tony Khan decided that they felt that the Ospreay versus Kenny Omega part 3 would have been a better fit for the main event for All In. Now, if you notice, and I brought this up on Thursday when I did my AEW recap, 2 times that Omega has been, 2 times that AEW has been out of the United States, Omega doesn't show up in the event. On Grand Slam Mexico, he didn't make it to the show, and then again in Scotland this week, in Glasgow, I think it was Scotland, he wasn't in the building. Now, this matchup has been one of the best, I think, storyline it has had in the last couple of months and whatnot. Now, again, there's a lot of things in this matchup and whatnot. What up, Steve? What's up, Mob Squad? Thank you for showing up. The one thing I noticed that that has kind of been put to the background, and that is the whole Jon Moxley thing. That MJF, even though he is part of the Gauntlet, are they gonna get involved coming up on this main event? I still think Ospreay could win the match in his hometown. The one thing I don't want to happen, and that is the whole thing. Let's say MJF wins the Gauntlet and then he cashes in, and then you just ruin the whole, Ospreay winning, becoming the first British to win a world title in London and whatnot. And what I'm saying, and a lot of people will not be happy about that, and that will be a bad move of AEW. But I think for what I'm seeing here, this is going to be a matchup. Man, I don't even have to explain to you how this match is going to go. These two, you've seen it in Japan, that we saw. I mean, Kenny Omega beat the bricks out of Ospreay. I mean, he hit him with a move which was the brain bust on top of the turnbuckle. I remember that. And Ospreay came out of there not the same wrestler ever again after that. Then they had their match in Forbidden Door in Canada, I think the same year and whatnot. And that's when Ospreay pulled out the screwdriver thanks to Don Callis and whatnot. So there's a lot of factors here. We could probably see again, if MJF gets involved, I think he'll probably get involved. From what I'm seeing, most likely maybe he'll try to cash in and whatnot. Jon Moxley, I don't know what is the story with the Death Riders right now, but let me put it this way, if Moxley's not even involved in this match, and then Moxley loses his AEW Continental Championship, we could be seeing a different leadership coming up. I'll be talking about that whole thing too, also in this podcast show today. Also, so I believe still that Ospreay's going to win the title and whatnot, and he should win the title. There shouldn't be a cash in. That's not going to help the company at all and whatnot, because people are going to. I'm telling you right now, if they were to do some shit like this, I guarantee you that a lot of people are going to be pissed off, and it's going to be a turn off. Whatnot. But Tony Khan, I have faith in Tony Khan that he'll do the right thing and whatnot. And I'm telling you, this match is going to be. Would it top the top two they already had? I don't know. But we're talking about Omega's been this matchup is going to be, I don't know. Omega looks very good. He's been wrestling better than he was doing maybe a year ago. And a year ago, if you watch him wrestle, he looked like he was hurting. And Ospreay right now, ever since he did the whole neck surgery thing, he looks great and whatnot. And again, you can't sleep on Ospreay. Ospreay is one guy that he could go all out and whatnot. You know, it's I'm telling you, this match I think is going to be the match of the night and whatnot, because you've seen the last two they had. The one in Japan was freaking crazy. That one was, I think, much better than the one in I think it was Toronto, but I know it was in Canada. So, and a Forbidden Door. So we'll see about that. I mean, who knows? But it's crazy. And then, what would happen to the loser? I mean, if Omega loses, you probably could tell that Omega's already tuning down. His career is like on sunsets very soon. So I don't know. To me, if he loses, it's not going to hurt him. He's done everything in wrestling. What's up, Ivan? What's good up, buddy? If he loses, I feel like it's not going to hurt him. He's done everything in wrestling. Kenny Omega is the fucking man. You know what I'm saying? In Japan, he dominated Japan, had classic matches with Okada. I mean, it's crazy. Ospreay, if he loses, then we have a problem, to me, the way I'm looking at it. You know what I'm saying? This trilogy they're about to have, the third match, this is a trilogy already. So it's going to probably be much better than the last two. You know what I'm saying? Assuming Elite going for trios title after Omega loses. I don't know, because I'll get to that part. You know what I'm saying? You think the match of the night will be Takeshita, Okada, and Fletcher? Let me tell you, so this card is stacked, to be honest. So, I mean, and does AEW need to establish Ospreay as the next world champion? I believe so. He's been there for a while. He's been there for like 2 years already, 3 since he left. I think it's been 3 since he left New Japan. And you figured that he was going to win the world title, but instead he won the AEW All International title, had a feud with MJF. And I think now they'll probably have him win the title, and he'll probably lose it to MJF and whatnot. And he'll probably, I think MJF's going to, I'm going to tell you right now, MJF's going to, if he does win the gauntlet, he's going to juice this contract. And he'll probably get it for World's End and whatnot. We'll probably see the same thing that happened a couple of years. Matter of fact, last year, where MJF won the title. So, we could probably be seeing that. So, you know what I'm saying? And this is, the, how you call it? The biggest match for Ospreay. And, I mean, to me, because like I said, AEW needs to establish Ospreay as a champion. Is Kenny's story more important than Ospreay? Actually, no. I think Ospreay's story is bigger because Ospreay got hurt last year. He had to go through the whole neck surgery thing and whatnot. And you need Ospreay to win to make it more exciting. And this is the whole thing. Omega's kind of telling him, "You've never been better than me, even when you were in Japan. I still dominated Japan. I go to Japan and I beat you," which he did. He went to Japan and he beat the man who was supposed to take over after Omega left. So this is going to be very interesting, very, very interesting match and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And I think Ospreay will win for the simple fact that you need him to win because, first of all, you're doing this in London, Ospreay's home turf, and if if you don't make him that, and then you do that whole, I call it the TNA move. And the reason I call it a TNA move because TNA did that to Josh Alexander in 2020. He went after trying to go after the title, and then when he finally won it, they pulled moves to cash in his whatever the hell it was a contract, and he ended up beating Josh Alexander right like within minutes. I don't think that's a good move to me, honestly. So let's move on to Mercedes Moné. The Mercedes Moné versus Willow Nightingale has become. I mean, this has now gotten very juicy, and if you want to put it, because now the report, and I put this in my shorts today. The report yesterday from Tony Khan that Willow broke her hand. I don't know how she broke her hand. I don't understand how she broke her hand. Must have been when they got that big fight a couple of weeks ago. And she probably broke her hand. And you saw her this week again, getting attacked again by Mercedes Moné. And you saw Mercedes put the chair on Willow's hand and stomped it. You know what I'm saying? Like making it look like she broke it there. But we know she broke it before that. So that's what she, they did that whole skid, whatever. So now the reports are coming in that they're probably looking to find a way to make sure that she doesn't, she doesn't hurt her hand more, even worse or whatever. So this is kind of messed up because I felt like, I felt that Willow was going to win this match. You know what I'm saying? Because of that, I still going through with the whole storyline when Moné won all her titles and whatnot. She tried to beat Toni Storm like twice, I think, for the world title. She wasn't able to do it. And then now she has an opportunity to do it for the third time, but because she was attacking Willow consistent. Usually when a challenger attacks the champion more than 1, 2, 3 times, most of the time the champion retains. They'll have a great match, but they retain. But now with this whole thing with Willow having an injury, would Tony Khan pull the trigger would have Nightingale losing the belt because she gets injured and whatnot, and Mercedes finally winning the world title. Or we forget that, remember what Moné did a month ago before Willow won the title. Willow won the gauntlet to become the number 1 contender. I think she won the gauntlet to become the number 1 contender for redemption. And who attacked Willow? Tekla attacked Willow, and then Mercedes Moné attacked Tekla. And then they never went back to that. And Tekla lost the belt to Willow. And then now, as we look at it, it could be a possibility that Willow could be losing. She's about to lose, and then Tekla comes out of nowhere. And then we're going to have probably a Tekla versus Mercedes Moné, because remember, these are the 2 pillars now of AEW. Tony Khan mentioned them. 2 of the 4 pillars is Tekla and Moné. And you got to have a match between Moné and Tekla, even though there's a size difference, but who knows? You know what I'm saying? He said, guessing Moné wins the title. Willow gets her rematch at All Out, being a good rivalry with these ladies. That's too. I believe that if Moné does win the title, you can't have Willow automatically get the title, because I believe that All Out is like probably what, in another less than a month, so she's still gonna have that broken hand. So I feel that she'll probably retain. The way I'm looking at it, maybe Tekla, like I said, Tekla come out, because Tekla hasn't been seen since she lost the belt. She's in Japan at Stardom. And she did a video a couple of days ago where talking about people thought that because I lost, I was crying. So she's probably going to come back. You know what I'm saying? She's going to come back and probably, do her thing, So, I mean, we'll see. I mean, this is going to be very interesting. This match is going to be good. That's the way I see it. You know what I'm saying? And Mercedes, again, her championship history, we know that a woman is right now, if you look at all female wrestlers have been there, either black or Spanish, Mercedes Moné, she wins this title. This woman has been, because they were putting this on X, people making polls and all that bullshit. Besides Athena, Mercedes is right there at the top 2 females. Right now, they have been one of the best wrestlers out here. You know what I'm saying? Willow, of course, she's the underdog. She's always going to be the underdog, regardless what anybody says. You know what I'm saying? And I think, honestly, I feel that even if she wasn't hurt, she's still the underdog. Because Moné is, I know there's a lot of people don't like her, but she's up there. She's a future Hall of Famer. She's done it. If you don't like how she wrestled or because you're mad because she left WWE, the bottom line, this woman has done it all. She has won every title in wrestling. Whether you never heard of the damn promotion, it was in Europe, Japan, Australia, Mexico, and regardless, she has been the female wrestler in the last 3-4 years. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? So, Steve said, depends on Tekla in Japan defending Stardom Trio's title. Of the girls that are defending the title, said she won't be there. Then. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, this woman has done it all. Whether AEW should put the title on Mercedes Moné, I believe they should already. And it doesn't mean Moné needs the championship. Of course she does. You want to put the biggest name right now in the women wrestling because Mercedes, no matter what, she's one of the biggest names in wrestling. Should be the champion. The heel. She does the heel thing. And, and the question, how does the women's division look like after All In? Now, Toni Storm has been gone. Willow has been hurt in and out. And to top it off, you still got Megan Bayne, Lena Hook. Even though they're tag team champions, but I think Megan Bayne needs to get a title shot. I keep saying that. They think Tony Khan kind of fumbled that a little bit. And I think she should have been champion by now. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see. Let's see. And then we got the Kyle Fletcher versus Okada versus Takeshita. Now, I believe what Steve said earlier, this might be the match of the night, or it might be the second best match of the night. But this storyline is going to be good. It's going to be real good. Because right now they're making it where Fletcher is paranoid, Okada's playing it off, Okada saying, oh, we'll do the play. And when it's Takeshita right now, if you think about it, Takeshita, he might be outnumbered when it comes to the match, but he knows that if he could play psychology and mess around with these two guys, Fletcher and Okada, like not trusting each other, he could walk out as the AEW International Champion for the 3rd time. You know what I'm saying? But I believe that Fletcher most likely will retain. He'll find some way. And again, Don Callis in the middle of 2 wrestlers that's part of his faction, and they're about to go off. Now, do we see Okada leaving the Don Callis family? Maybe Okada leaves the Don Callis family. Because if you think about it, Don Callis family, Okada being in there does not help him at all. He had the longest AEW AEW Continental title shot, or the title, for almost a year. And since that, he hasn't gone for the world title. He had the opportunity to go after Darby Allin this past March, but then I think he had to go to Japan, so Takeshita took over. So he hasn't gotten a title shot. And and let's say, and I'm just saying, let's say if Okada or Ospreay wins the world title, I want to see Okada versus Ospreay. A lot of people haven't seen that in the United States. I saw it plenty of times in Japan. You know what I'm saying? So that would be dope. That would be a dope match. I'm talking about Takeshita versus Okada. We've seen that. But Ospreay versus Okada, I've seen those day matches, and just like Omega and Okada, those matches were dope. You can't ask for nothing better than that. You know what I'm saying? Steve says no Brie Baker. I don't know when Britt's coming back, and if she is coming back. So he said he's picking Takeshita. Okada taking pin, keeping Fletcher strong. Takeshita versus Fletcher at All Out. They'll go what? The trilogy? That'll be the trilogy. That's not a bad idea. But then if there's a trilogy, then you have to move. You can't have Takeshita lose the belt again, All Out, to Kyle Fletcher. Then that means you got to move Kyle Fletcher to the world title picture. And we'll probably see Fletcher versus Ospreay. Now, those matches are awesome. See, I like the way AEW messes around with, because now you could mess around with moving certain guys to the tiers, like moving up tiers and whatnot. But let's not forget, we cannot forget about MJF. So you can move all these guys to the world title picture, because Hangman Page can't be part of the world title picture. Omega, once he loses his belt, if he loses the belt, he may not be in the world title picture. He may be part of the whole elite situation. You know, Mox versus Fletcher. Yeah, but only if the Continental belt's on the line. And I honestly, I'm going to get to that soon. So hopefully, you know what I'm saying. But who benefits the most from winning? Is it Fletcher? Because this establishment has a legitimate single stars. And I mean, that's a dumb question, to be honest. He's already legitimate. The guy is awesome. He could wrestle. He could go with anybody. I mean, him and Hangman Page had an awesome match when Hangman was the world champion, and he proved that he could hang with anybody in the world title picture. You know what I'm saying? Okada, does putting the championship Okada elevate that belt? I mean, that belt's already been elevated. I think that the AEW International title has always been elevated, especially when Takeshita had it with him, and he was the never open weight champion in Japan. So, you know what I'm saying? And I think he defended the belt, I think, with Ishii at one point. So, and during Wrestle Dynasty, the day after the Wrestle Kingdom. So, you know what I'm saying? And does putting the championship on Okada, elevate the belt rate, answer Takeshita? Could this be the moment AEW finally gives him a major singles championship run? Listen, Takeshita, the guy, I think he deserves at least the world title, in my personal opinion. But there's so many good wrestlers in AEW. There's a line. Certain people want to get a shot at the world title. I mean, you still have Andrade. Andrade's, you know, he should be getting a world title shot. So there's a long line of people who could be world champion. And when Takeshita, I believe Takeshita should have been already up there. But, you know, this is exactly the kind of match where you can spend, you know, hours trying to figure out who's going to win this. And, you know, it's crazy. But within the year, Fletcher will be AEW champion. I believe so. Maybe this time next year. Who knows? But again, like I said, it's a long line of wrestlers that want that title. You know what I'm saying? And any guys that we can mention, Fletcher, Takeshita, Okada, you know, MJF, you know, Ospreay, all these guys could be world champion. They have world championship, you know, pedigree and whatnot. So, you know what I'm saying? But we'll see. The MJF Casino Gauntlet thing and Andrade, you know, who's going to win this? I mean, that's the tough one, because you're going to have a lot of people in this. Jericho's in it. Mark Davis is in it. I'm sure Jack Perry's going to be in it somewhere, somehow. Maybe Orange Cassidy. I didn't check the lineup who's going to be in there, but I know Andrade's and MJF's is number 1 and 2. So they're not even, you know, I mean, they're not even wasting time. They're putting these two guys who they built this Casino Gauntlet storyline around them, because now MJF's trying to get his belt back. He's trying to win the gauntlet. You know what I'm saying? You know, so we know that, you know, these guys are going to go at it. They've been beefing for the last 2 or 3 months, even when Andrade was part of the Down Callous, even before that. When MJF wrestled at House of Glory here in New York, and then he fought Zillow Fatu, if I'm correct, Andrade, you know, challenged him and had a word with him. And this continued on all the way to the death match, whatever it was, for I think Forbidden Door, whatever, and the betrayal that supposedly you know, Andrade did. So this is going to be good, but then I think they should have left that little last and whatnot, so to make it more fun. Now, if MJF don't win this, I'll be surprised if he doesn't win this. But does Andrade be the one that MJF eliminate last? I don't want that to happen, because that's like saying that the All In national champion doesn't mean anything. So if MJF is going to win this, you know what I'm saying, we should have him beat, I don't know, whoever. And Steve is telling me Josh Alexander is medically clear. Yes, I saw that because he popped out at Maple Leaf Wrestling, I think last week. So he's clear to come back, and he's part of the Don Callis family. So Josh Alexander will be a great fit as surprise entrance in this, but it's going to be something to look forward to because if MJF wins this again, now you have to look at what's going to happen at the main event. Is he going to cash in his contract and catch the winner of this main event and catch him off guard to win the title? Who knows? So, because right now what MJF is doing, he's doing a Will Ospreay move, and I say that Will Ospreay move because Ospreay, when he had the IWGP championship, I don't remember if I think they stripped him off the belt. He was walking around with that belt for months in 2020 and 2021, saying that he was the real world champion. So this is exactly what MJF is doing right now, and pretty much, I mean, like I said, I don't want this whole cash in your contract and ruin the whole ending of All in London. But let's see what happens. That's going to be very interesting and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Again, who could show up? I mean, I think Josh Alexander should be there. MJ's position should be him winning it. The way I say it, surprise entrance, I don't think so. I don't think there's going to be surprise entrance. The possible returns again, Josh Alexander. Possible debuts, I don't see no debut coming out of that. And realistically, how many wrestlers could realistically win? I say maybe 2 or 3. And again, the winner of this, and there's also legitimate current speculation around Ilya Dragunov after his WWE departure and whether AEW could use him at All In, although that remains speculation. First of all, that's not going to happen. I bet you I could tell you right now that Dragunov has a 90-day clause. So, it's crazy, but we'll see. The Jon Moxley and Continental Cup finals, this is an opportunity for Moxley to get out of this tournament with the title. You know what I'm saying? Most recently, Moxley defeated Jay White in the Continental Cup quarterfinal. So, and not only that, but he also beat Claudio, and both of those matches, he barely won. You know what I'm saying? He barely won. You know what I'm saying? Steve says what? Sheamus surprise possibly? No, I don't see. Sheamus still hurt. Sheamus, when he left WWE, he was still hurt. He was still recovering from injury. So, but yeah, getting back at this whole thing with the Jon Moxley content again. Moxley barely beat Claudio and barely beat Jay White, especially Jay White, because Jay White hit him with the I think the Blade Runner, whatever it's called. I think the Blade Runner. I think that's the finishing move, and he barely got out of that. So, and then with Claudio this week, I mean, Claudio just beat the bricks out of Jon Moxley, and now he's getting in the ring with Nigel McGuinness. Now, Nigel McGuinness is going to definitely, and Steve is saying it, Nigel McGuinness is going to give Mox problem, but Mox will retain Nigel's retirement song. I was about to say the same thing. I mean, you think that McGuinness could be the Continental Champion? That means he's not going to be in the broadcast, because I think he does very well in the broadcast and Collision. But I think this is the swan song. You're right. He's probably going to have his match with Moxley. Moxley is going to be barely beating McGuinness also. The only thing is that McGuinness is hurt. McGuinness is hurt. Remember, he had that leg injury when he tried to stop a PK from Shibata. And, and it's true. Yep. Claudio literally out-wrestled. He literally out-wrestled Mox. I never seen Mox look so beatable last week. But I think Mox is going to retain. I still think, honestly, that the Death Rider is going to turn on Moxley. If Moxley loses this belt, I believe sometime either the beginning of next month or the ending of next month, David Finlay is going to take over the Death Riders. I don't know. Something's telling me that. You know what I'm saying? But Mox right now, he looks beatable. And if Nigel McGuinness does anything that he did to Kyle O'Reilly, Kyle O'Reilly gave Jon Moxley a hell of a match. Not once, 3 times, I think, they fought. And I think that he if he start putting submission moves on Moxley, Moxley's going to be in trouble. It's going to be definitely in trouble. And Steve says that he thinks Moxley retained choke submission hold. But again, I mean, you can't be in that ring with Nigel McGuinness to hold submission moves. You're in trouble. The only thing, like I said, the only thing I could think of is Moxley working on Nigel McGuinness' leg and probably beating him that way and then just choking him out. You know what I'm saying? So now, does he shake his hand because Moxley lately has been doing that? We'll probably see that too. So we'll see. Let me see the tag team, the trio matches that they have. Now let's go to the tag team. First, the women's tag team, the Brawling Birds and the Divine Dominion. That match wasn't promoted well at all. And you guys could probably chat if you're in here. Let me know if I'm wrong, but they did not promote this Divine Dominion versus the Brawling Birds like they were supposed to. For months, they've been teasing it, these tag teams to meet up. But instead, they put, Hayter and Windsor in singles matches, world title matches. I don't know why. Instead of them building so these two tag teams to go on it. They had them in 6-man tags, and all we had was brawls. Now, do I see the Brawling Birds beating the Divine Dominion? I'm gonna go on a lamp and say Divine Dominion retain. Because I think the Brawling Birds, they're gonna break them up so they could have more female single wrestlers to help the division until Tony Storm comes back. So I'm going out on a limb and say Brawling Birds are gonna lose to Divine Dominion because the way they did this, I don't understand it. Then the other tag team they have on the card is Copeland and Cage against the Young Bucks. Now, I believe this is going to be the swan song for Edge and Copeland and Cage. The way they're making it look in this storyline is that Copeland is being too friendly with his opponents. Cage doesn't trust anybody. You saw when he kicked Matt Jackson in the nuts. Nick Jackson super kick Christian Cage, and then for his super kick, his trouble for the super kick, he got speared by Copeland. But this match is going to be pretty good. Now, this is like the new age, or not even the new age, the present versus the past. This is going to be a good match. If the Young Bucks win, it's over for the Cage and Copeland. Because Copeland, I think, is going to retire in October. His last match, I think, is in Toronto. Because that's, I think, where Russell Dream is going to be at. So he'll probably have. And who knows? Cage may just walk away from him and probably leave him to lose the belt. And then they'll have another match. Listen, the Bucks are going to win the belt for the 4th time, I think, or 5th time. Because, again, there's rumors going around that the Young Bucks contract is almost over and that Matt Jackson is thinking of retiring. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to go to WWE. I doubt that very much because they already seen how the tag team division is over there. So, you know what I'm saying? But, and talking about that, let's go about the trios. The trios is going to be very interesting because the trios have Wrestle Dream is this year in Orlando. I thought it was in Toronto. My fault. Oh, it'll be for sure. It's going to be Copeland's last match. He already announced that. The trios is going to be interesting because they're putting all former trios champ in this match. I think it's about 5 teams. And out of the 5 teams, then there's a wild card team. And the wild card team, pretty much everybody been talking about it for months. We're talking about, New Day making a debut, teaming up with Swerve Strickland and whatnot. Now, do I see New Day and Strickland winning the titles? Most likely, maybe not. And the reason I say maybe not, because do you really want to have Swerve Strickland and New Day stuck with the tag team belts, with those trios belts? I think Brodito and Hangman retains and whatnot. I'm being bold because I mean, like, you could have the debut. Doesn't mean, number one, that if Swerve and New Day doesn't win the tag belts and whatnot, doesn't make them look bad. They don't have to take the pin. Somebody else could take the pin. You know what I'm saying? Because it's going to be the Demand, Conglomeration, the Bam Bang Gang, Brodito and Hangman, how you call it? Then you have the demand. I don't know if I mentioned that already. Then you're gonna have the wild card team, which is Strickland with 2 other guys, and most likely is probably gonna be New Day. I don't know what they're gonna be called because I know they're not gonna be called New Day, but Swerve just put a tweet and whatnot. Oh, I forgot the dogs. Yes, I forgot. Sorry. Thank you, Steve. And the dogs. So, and I say the dogs, I mean, because the dogs, I mean, even though they're former tag team champions, but the dogs is like they're not pushing them the way I want them to be pushed, like they were doing in Japan. They just this is another trios team, especially with Gabe Kidd doing all this crazy shit in Japan and coming to AEW. He's not doing the same thing that he was on in Japan. So, but again, seeing that they how you call it, they don't want the belts doesn't matter because at the end of the day, we want to see New Day versus the Young Bucks for the world title. That would be a cool match. That's something to think about. You know what I'm saying? So that'll be cool and whatnot. So that's the tag team, I believe, all the tag teams and whatnot. And then the upset pick. My upset picks. I mean, right now, like I said, I have Divine Dominion retaining. I have Mercedes Moné winning probably the title unless Tekla gets involved. So that probably won't be much of an upset, to be honest. But you know, and I think the one position everybody's going to get wrong and whatnot is the how you call it, the trios, because people are going to think because Swerve may team up with New Day, they're going to win the tag team belts. That's not going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Brodito's going to retain and whatnot, you know, and it's going to be cool. The wrestler everyone expects to lose actually wins. I think again, the Divine Dominion, because I'm sure that people will be like, well, they need to take the belts from Divine Dominion, but they're not going to lose. They're going to actually win that. The championships that they changed had unexpectedly. I don't think there's any unexpectedly title change here. I think pretty much we know who's gonna. If it changed unexpectedly, and it's not really unexpected, it's because she's hurt, and that's the Willow situation. So a surprise end appearance completely changed the show. A New Day showing up, you know, and it's gonna be something, you know, but you know, it's something that everybody's already talking about it. So you know what I'm saying. So especially so now, what does AEW actually needs in 2026? They don't need a massive attendance because the first time, yes, that is something that you want to do, 80,000 or whatever it was. So if they get 50,000, 47,000, you know, you're always going to have these clowns talking about, oh, they didn't do 80,000. You know, there's always a WWE, you know, clowns that always want to talk about attendance game when they're not doing well. They had a 70,000 a football stadium, they're gonna sell out. So, you know, and the show needs a breakout star. I think the breakout star will be if Maya World defends her TBS title against Persephone. I think a big win over Persephone by Maya World will be great without outside interference because we're talking about the CMLL World Champion. You know what I'm saying? And does AEW need a shocking moment? Well, the shocking moment will be if Tekla comes back and costs Mercedes Moné the title. That's my thing. And does Kenny Omega need to leave as champion? No, he doesn't. He doesn't need to leave as champion. I think Ospreay winning it will be the perfect thing to do. And Ospreay needs to win. Because if he don't need to win, then we have Ospreay here for 3 years and he's still in the world champion. And then he was in his, you know, in his hometown. And does AEW need a surprise debut? I already mentioned that. New Day should be the surprise debut. And which wrestler needs the biggest momentum boost? I think Andrade's, because Andrade's, if anything, I think Andrade should go and cost MJF the gauntlet, to be honest. And one match that could steal the show. Well, like Steve said earlier, is Okada, Takeshita, and Fletcher. If that match could outdo the main event, then, you know, we're talking about 3 guys that take it to the limit. Take it to the limit. So it's just something to, you know, to look for. I mean, I am looking forward for all in. and it's going to be great because it's probably going to be in the morning. It's probably 11 o'clock in the morning. So I'll be eating breakfast and watching wrestling. That's the best thing to happen in the world. So, you know, yeah, Kevin Knight. I don't even know if Kevin Knight will retain against Darby. That's right. I forgot about the Kevin Knight versus Darby. I don't think so. Darby's going to get that belt back. Darby, because I think it's a no disqualification. Darby's going to get it. And I tell you right now, and you said the wild card, Stephen Borton, Sting's son. Maybe you could be right too, Steve. So, you know, I totally forgot about the how you call it, the Kevin Knight versus Darby. But I think Darby's going to get even. Darby's got to get even to what happened 3 months ago. You know what I'm saying? And he's going to be, especially if there's no disqualification, Darby's going to go all out and he's going to punish Kevin Knight. So, it's a 4 count anywhere. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. If it's a 4 counts anywhere, Darby's taking the belt back. I'll be surprised Darby don't win this match. This is his revenge because already Kevin Knight has a win over him. You know what I'm saying? So, we'll see. Anyway, that is it for me today, guys. Thank you very much for supporting the podcast and whatnot. I want to thank everybody who is on the stream live and whatnot. I want to thank, of course, the Debate Network and whatnot for supporting the podcast, and I want to thank everybody who's on the chat and whatnot. So, again, guys, follow the Circle of Debate. They're on every day on watch-alongs and whatnot. They have Monday Night Raw, NXT on Tuesday, NXT on Tuesday, Wednesday AEW Dynamite, Thursday TNA Impact, Friday SmackDown, and then Saturday AEW Collision and AAA, and then tomorrow they're gonna be on for the watch along for the All In. So check out the Circle Debate on Facebook, on YouTube and whatnot, and of course check my podcast, the Chokeslam Wrestling Report. If you guys have not subscribed to the channel, please do so. I appreciate it. We're trying to get to 3,000 subscribers and whatnot. I want to thank everybody who supports the podcast and whatnot, and check out the TCWR veryinc.com. That's tcwr.veryinc.com. We got t-shirts, we got hats, we got hoodies, and now that the fall's around the corner, I'm already feeling here in New York. It's kind of cool. Falls around the corner. You guys can check out the hoodies and whatnot. Support the podcast. I will gladly appreciate it. I want to thank everybody again, one more time, for coming through and showing love. Again, we can follow Facebook, Instagram, the X, especially the YouTube. The YouTube channel to me is the most important thing, and also TikTok. So you can find us, and also we're available on audio podcasts, also anywhere audio podcast platform. So till then, guys, I will see you Tuesday to give you my take on the Monday Night Raws and whatnot, because I'm trying to do different things, more long content to bring in more fans and more viewers. And so until then, guys, I want to thank you again, and we'll see you Tuesday with more of the Chokeslam Wrestling Report.